What is good, Josh on the Spool Game Man, back with yet another death battle. As today we have Shigaraki versus Mahito, My Hero Academia versus Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me know who y'all rocking with down below. This is the first time in a while that we're doing an anime versus anime death battle, bringing two universes together to see who's really got the stronger power levels, who's got the stronger power-up system, who's got the stronger hacks, you know. And to me personally, I mean, these are two dudes that you can't let touch you. Point blank period. Do not touch them. They have cooties. They got the icks. You know what I'm saying? So, whose is going to be stronger? The ability to touch you and turn you into a whole completely different figurine, or the ability to touch you and turn you into dust? Now, I do think if we're talking about Shigaraki with all the other implications to his body that he's been added into, if we're talking about that version, Shigaraki wipes this pretty easily. If we're just talking base Shigaraki with just his ability to turn things to dust, it's going to be a lot closer to fight, and maybe Mahito wins this one just being a little bit more stably sane, a little bit more battle IQ. But can't go off of what is. So I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to know which one we're going against. So I'm not even gonna give my pre-video predictions. I'm looking at the stats first and then give my pre-fight predictions, because I gotta know which Shigaraki they're using. So let me know down below who you guys are rocking with. You team My Hero Academia, team Jujutsu Kaisen. Which world do you think is stronger? Whose best character do you think is stronger? And which anime do you like better? Me personally, if I had to choose, I'd probably put JJK above My Hero Academia. If I had to choose which one I like better, I think JJK is above it now. It's a slight better. It's like if one's a 9.1, the other one's a 9.0. Like, it's slightly better, but I would say JJK is a little bit better for me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this, because none of them are taking down Naruto. That's all that matters. I don't even think Neji would. Y'all don't even want to see Neji in a fight for real. So let's go to just jump straight into this and see what they got.
Shigaraki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Yeah, the hand thing was kinda crazy.
Those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well...
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT. TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
Yep.
So Decay became, oh shit, more hands.
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All-for-One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All-for-One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All-for-One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blast, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All-for-One's vestige, that means All-for-One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose. To create a soul so corrupted, it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All-for-One to take full control.
But All-for-One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All-for-One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
And I'll admit I'm anime only, so like a lot of that, it's not really spoilers because me personally, I don't really care about spoilers. But a lot of that, I can't wait to finally see anime. I know that probably y'all that have read the manga have already seen all that, but me personally, I just don't have the time to read. Books are expensive. Excuses, right? But nah, for real though, I love watching them actually animated.
Appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants, like Play-Doh. He can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch!
That one was kind of sad.
I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound.
Yeah.
It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the Domain Expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Alright, now this one I'm not even gonna lie, I'm kind of struggling with, because it's like, I know I said if we're giving him his top form, Shigaraki is not losing this, but I almost forgot about the domain expansion. How do you deal with that if you're Shigaraki? You think all for one's physical consciousness will be able to break out that like Sukuna's? Because you have to be stronger than the person casting it to get out of it. Would all for one be stronger though? I'm gonna go Shigaraki, bro. I'm gonna ride Shigaraki. No Diddy. No. Hey, yo. I'm gonna go with Shigaraki. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I'm gonna go with Shigaraki. And let me know what you guys feeling down below. Let's go to get into this fight, bro, before I say something else. Come on, Shig. Come on, Shig. Hey, get started early.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring him your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sick 'em.
Yeah, he's not gonna do it with this attack.
Game over. Did you actually just say that?
I'm not gonna lie, it might be not even. How's he gonna kill your soul? I forgot about that. Gotta kiss her?
Audition over. Did I get the part? Decay!
He's decay everything.
What a rush! That all you got?
Domain expansion.
This is what I was worried about.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Have the soup in the pose.
I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them for a reason.
There you go. I knew.
Grow up.
Why he didn't use it sooner? Probably could have been over a long time ago. Yo. I told y'all my boy Shigaraki was coming through with the whole body decay. Should have used it way sooner, but I'm mad they gave off from one the Sukuna pose. They hands off my masterpiece. Why did he get the Sukuna pose, bro? I mean I figured he might be on that level of strength, but still, get your own pose.
What did I say, Wiz? Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Surge quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki's scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams beams, while Mahito's black flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idle transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique
look,
duel to the
you might get all
death, but
three.
Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Next.
Like, you know, like, how do you get survivability but you lost? Oh, he can survive more than he can, but he's gonna lose though. Like, nah, Shigaraki got all three of them categories, bro. But no, for real, let me know what you guys rock with down below, man. Dubs or L's in the chat, man. Let me know what you guys rocking. We got a dub here today because my boy Shigaraki took care of business. Now, still as an overwhelming like show, top guy against top guy, I'm taking JJK over My Hero Academia, but that's because also Shigaraki's like, if not the second strongest, at least in the top three strongest characters in the universe, and Mahito is not top three in his. So just off that alone, and how close of a fight it was, JJK is a strong universe to me. But let me know down below what you guys think, and we'll get into some more anime videos tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune back in. We're back with Naruto tomorrow. I'm not gonna spoil what video, but make sure you guys tune back in for that 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and you guys will see what we're rocking with. So it's me, boy Sean, this movie, aka Black Okage, Black Avatar, King Leo, aka Black Sorcerer, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. I'm going for today. Peace.